All right, we have special guest. Kobe, come say hi. Come here. Oh, yeah. All right, so the first video was on PowerPoint presentations. So I was always taught to do like the 7x7 rule, so 7 bullet points by 7 words, just to make it easier to read, that kind of thing. He kind of touches on it. I know he uses a different number, but essentially the idea was the same. Um, a statistic from the beginning that kind of stuck out to me on how kind of vital PowerPoint presentations can be is that like 90% of what was said is gone within 30 seconds. I want to say my memory is better than that, but apparently not. So there are 5 design principles. I feel like with these principles, there's really no excuse for us to not have a good presentation with our papers due next week, but maybe that's why the professor chose this video. So, a big thing that I took out of this is do not talk with big paragraphs on the screen. Either give them time to read it, or what he said was to just put it in the notes at the bottom that you can see but they can't see. Because otherwise, like, if you're talking and they're reading, they're not listening to what you're hearing, or they can't read, or they're just not comprehending. Actually, he said 1 + 1 = 0, so they're not comprehending anything, which does make sense. Half the time I try to multitask and I end up doing one really well or just doing both of them poorly. So I can definitely relate to that. So the next video kind of drove me crazy because he kept kind of smacking his, like, into the microphone. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So right away he said, people are happier with interpersonal relationships. I can agree with that. Not everybody's the same, but me personally, a couple times a week, I need that physical contact, that interpersonal just relations with people. So that's just like taking a walk with someone or like grabbing a meal. That's definitely something that I need, and I know I am happier when I'm not just like lounging around the house. But it wouldn't be a reaction video unless I mentioned my boyfriend. He's the exact opposite. He doesn't need any of that. He could go weeks without hanging out with like friends and just plays guitar when he needs to and just just like be. But he also lives with people, so I feel like it might be different if you live alone. But moving on, there was a couple different things in this video that I thought were very interesting. So he said you can count true friends on just one hand, and that number from, I think it was like 20 years ago, has even went down significantly. Like, I think before it was 3, now it's like 1.5. People that you could call if you were, going through a mental health crisis and needed someone, which I think is crazy. I'd want to say that more people than that would be there for me. I'm not sure if that includes family, but I hope more than that would be there for me. So he kept kind of teasing these 3 words. So I thought they were going to be so profound. These 3 words that were going to, end world hunger, make the world peaceful. And it was tell me more. And the bonus words were what happened next, which I guess I could be better at. I obviously like to talk. So they always say you should listen as much as you talk. So maybe I just need to incorporate those 3 words into my life, and maybe people will like me more. I don't know. So, he kept using these like little tidbits of things like strangers just aren't friends yet. Kind of reminded me a little bit of like Mr. Rogers, that kind of thing. But I really like that video. I think interpersonal relationship, especially like over COVID, was lacking. And I know over COVID, I actually took it pretty seriously at first. I think it was like 53 days. Like, I did not do anything. I worked remotely. So I lived with my parents at the time, and I still do. So we left our house once a week to go get groceries. Other than that, I like walked my dog a lot, or that kind of thing. But other than that, we didn't really do anything. So besides my parents, I was really lacking that interpersonal relationships, and I was just me along with the rest of the world was just not happy. Besides, the anxiety of going through a global pandemic, but I really understood how much I need that interpersonal relationships and reactions. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know the word I'm trying to think of. But just that interactions throughout the day is a really big deal to me. And I definitely could relate to this video, even though he was smacking the whole time. All right. I'm glad you guys were able to meet Kobe. He's a great dog. Have a good week.